Hey everybody, our next technology lesson, we're looking at another cooking lesson. It's one of the things I can do at home. I don't have, a lot of projects to do here, so cooking is one thing that, again, everyone needs to do and everyone needs to practice. We're going to have a look at something that you guys might be able to make for breakfast. It's a nice healthy meal, and it's one of those things where it's as healthy as you make it. So we're looking at making an omelette. Some of you might remember we did look at making an omelette earlier in the year. This is just a refresher then for those of you that remember. And those of you that don't really remember, this is another look into it. So I don't have all of the ingredients that you can put into an omelette, but we're going to have a talk about what can go in. So we're going to start with, I'm using 3 eggs. It comes down to how many people you're cooking for and really how much you want to eat. I'm just using 3 eggs because I've got a couple of eggs in my house. So when it comes to cracking eggs, different people say to do it in different ways. I heard last that it's better to crack it on a flat surface rather than on the edge of a plate. Also, when you're looking at working with eggs, it can get a bit messy because the gooey part of the egg can go everywhere. So my advice to you is have a rubbish bin or a rubbish bag or something where you can throw the eggshells in straight away. So I've got my rubbish bin handy here, and I'm going to start with cracking my eggs. Now, the camera's not always going to be in the perfect place. Yeah, let's see how we go here. First egg in. Second egg in, but I did get a bit of shell in that one. And they say that the best thing to get eggshell out of your eggs is more eggshell. So you use a piece of the eggshell to scoop it out. Yeah, this bit of eggshell doesn't want to come out, but I really don't want to eat the eggshell, so we're going to, no, I almost got it. There we go. Now, I've got egg on my hand. Realistically, you can continue cooking with egg on your hand, but I don't like the feeling, so I'm going to just wash it off. Now, when we're making an omelette, it's not about just, okay, I can't tip it without getting the eggs out. It's not just about cooking the eggs as they are. What we need to do is, we need to make the eggs a little bit fluffy. So there are a couple of ways that we can whisk the eggs to make them fluffy. There are some different bits of technology. So what this is, it is a tool where when you press the top of it, it spins this bottom piece. Normally this is what I use, and I bought it just because I'm a bit lazy and I don't like whisking eggs. But in your kitchen, most of you should have a whisk around, which is just this little tool that you use to mix and fluff things up. So what we're looking at with our eggs is we're trying to, I was going to use the description of whisk while I'm trying to describe whisk. We're going to rotate our hand around because we're trying to mix the eggs while also trying to get air bubbles inside those bits of the eggs so that it comes a little bit fluffy. Now, unfortunately, I am cooking at home, and I left my big camera with my tripod at school. So I'm trying to film this on my mobile phone, and I apologize if it isn't the best. And we don't always get the best angles. Now, as we're doing this, we can see that there are some bubbles starting to form. Sorry guys, this is the best I can do it without having an extra 14 pair of hands. I'll give you a look once it's done. So, I can't see the screen, so I hope that it is looking at the eggs. We can see that it's a bit bubbly, which is exactly what we're looking for. Now, some of the stuff that I like to put into my omelette mixture. So really at this point you can put most anything. I like to put a little bit of meat, so I've got some salami. I'm a little bit lazy, so rather than cutting it properly, I cut my salami with a knife when I'm mixing an omelette. Sorry, not with, I said a knife, but I meant to say scissors. These are kitchen scissors, so I don't use them in any place but the kitchen, and I clean them with all of my dishes, just like anything else. So I've got my salami in there. If I'd done a really good grocery shop and I had a couple of other things, what I like to put in my omelets, I like to put in mushrooms, some capsicum. Really, you can put in most vegetables at this point. They tend to sort of cook really well with the omelette. Asparagus is another thing that I like to put in there, but really you could put in sort of whatever you like. It all cooks together, and the fluffiness of the eggs keeps it nice. Another important thing to put in there, that I've heard is important to put in there, is cheese. Now the difference is I like to put my mixture, so all of my eggs and other ingredients into my fry pan. Sorry, I lost the word. Into my fry pan, and then put the cheese on top, so I know how much cheese based on how far the eggs spread. Now, I did bring out a bigger fry pan, but because I'm cooking for one, I can probably get away with using a much smaller fry pan. So I'm going to put my whisk to the side. I've got my fry pan here, and I'm going to, so we need to grease our pan. You can use butter, you can use oil. I'm bringing out my trusty oil spray. Actually, before I do that, I realized that all my meat is sitting in one spot, so I'm going to spread it just a little bit. Now, this is what it looks like so far. So, sorry for the bad angles again. I'm going to get my cheese, and I'm going to spread it just on the top. So it's kind of like what I'm trying to do. I like it a bit cheesier, so I'm trying to give it a bit of a cheesy coat. So there we've got our omelette with a bit of a cheesy coat. I'm going to turn on my cooktop. Now with this, what we're going to do is we're going to cook it until we start to see the egg starting to firm. I like it a little bit browner on one side. Then we're going to flip it so that the other side cooks a little bit as well. Because I am going to turn on my range hood, which is the part that sucks up the cooking gases, like the smoke and whatnot. I am going to pause the video and we're going to come back and have a look at it when it's done. When we're flipping our omelette, there are a couple things we can use. I'm not a really big fan of the whole like pizza pancake flip, because there's a risk that you can like throw everything and drop everything everywhere. I like to use a spatula. This is a pancake spatula, but I like it because I can get all the way underneath, and it gives me it's a bit easier to grab because it is a bit bigger. So I'm going to pause the video. We're going to come back in a little bit and have a look at my brilliant Gordon Ramsay worthy omelette. We're back. I needed two hands to do the flip. One to hold the fry pan, one to hold the spatula. So I couldn't show you, but that's one side cooked. I flipped it to start cooking the other. It's not going to take too much longer for the other side to cook, so we are going to pause, come back. Okay, so all done, all flipped. This is the other side of the omelette. Guys, if I'm being really honest with you, I'm one of the worst cooks that I know. I'm terrible at cooking. But if this is something that I can do, it's something that you guys can do. And it's not something that I was great at the first time I did it, because remember, the first time is the worst time. It took a lot of practice. After, getting like trying and trying and trying, you get much better at things. Now, here's where you can have a look at it and you can taste it. You can say, oh, okay, it needs a little bit of salt. It needs a little bit of pepper. It needs a little bit of whatever. But once you start working on something and you learn how to get really good at it, then it just becomes a skill that you've got. So use this time at home, so long as your parents or carers let you. Try these things. Ask for their help. Hey, what do you do when this happens? What do you like to put in your omelette? What do you do when ABC happens? If you ask questions, you learn. And it's not just us teachers that you guys should be asking, but ask the people at home. Ask the people that you care about. What do they do? So, in any case, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, contact us, your teachers, on the Google Classroom, and we'll see you next time.